Dum dum. All right, it's connected. Hey, welcome. This is the PSy Tai Podcast. Y'all made it here. Thank y'all. Ooh, there we go. Like I said, welcome to the PSy Tai Podcast. I'm PSy Tai. This is Just Tainow umbrella. Just Tainow is a place where we combine our mind with our heart, see where our gut, mind is saying, connect all those three circles, and let whatever come out just come on out. Just Tainow. Just think about it. T-A-I, not T-H-I like the food, but we are just as spicy with it. This is PSy Tai Podcast number 168. Feeling great. This is the late night podcast, 9:30 on the west side. Usually we in the morning, but with the podcast field and everything, you're able to just do it when you want to. So it's a lot of cool things I want to tie together with whoever pops in, or I'll just go off the rip and run the podcast. Probably with some people going to pop in, some cool people, some awesome friends that when I look at it, been there for like a good amount of time. The feels and the wood, like you from centuries, millennia, we knew each other. But on the PSy Tai Podcast and True Life Stories, we've been rocking it out, sharing stories for a good 2-3 years now. 2-3 years. And now when I look at shows and what they're talking about, and even commercials, and what the people in that's like saying they get a new ankle into something in life and everything, it's starting to come across similar flavors, and their own experiences is extravagant. I was watching Joe Rogan and Neil Brennan was on there. Neil Brennan is a guy who was, hold on, let me jump. Neil Brennan was a guy who was, he helped make the Chappelle Show. And he was one of the main writers, like the whole reason that the show exists in the first place. So, hold on, I'm sharing this around. Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan sharing his honest story. Like, he even wanted to stop a couple times. But Joe Rogan was like, hey, this is a place where a lot of, like, flukiness goes on and stuff. Like, just talk. Just tie her together as you had. And he had, like, a good 8 ayahuasca journeys, some mushrooms, and 5-MeO DMT. And he was going back out in his life and as a comedian and trying to gather life together. He said he couldn't look at the sunset because it would just take him too far. He said he didn't want to meditate or like for a certain period of time because he just felt like he would lose his grip on reality and his grounding and everything, which is cool to that he was able to say that and still like pronounce himself. He kept saying, excuse me. He kept saying, I'm happy y'all knew me before I started this show. I mean, before I started talking about this. I'm gonna jump up on here and see what's going on in Theo Discord. Hey, y'all chilling? You well, Nobby? Yeah, I don't think they there right now. Oh, hey, you well? Hey, I just went live just to smoke and tie some things together. Had some fun. I was watching Joe Rogan earlier when I was delivering, and he had Neil Brennan on there. And I talked about him a couple months ago because he was mentioning ayahuasca. And he's the guy that helped make the Chappelle Show. Like, he was one of the main writers, like Chappelle main friend. They like made Half Baked together, but he went on a huge journey, and I was real happy that he was sharing it unfiltered on Joe Rogan show. He was talking about being introduced, being led by spirits and dancing and stuff. Like his arms started moving during the journey. He was saying how what did he say? He said, yeah, he was shaking. He had the shakes, and he saw this girl dancing, and he had the thought, "Oh, one day I'll be able to dance like that." And then he said his body was just moving in ways that he wasn't controlling. I was like, "Yes." I know the one thing that made like real sense because you actually went through it, not just what you thought about it. Yeah, I was. It was cool. He was talking about going into the beyond too. Like he said, he saw in the way that he tells his stories too. Like me watching Joe Rogan, listen to his friend tell an experience that was shaky for him, and because he said he took the he smoked DMT, and he said no, it was during the ayahuasca, and he said that the whole universe was dying, and he felt like everything the universe was dying, he was dying, Saturn died, all the people was just being killed, like everything was being killed. And then he said like he was panicking then, but 4 days later it really helped him realize, well, he didn't know what he fully realized, like he still couldn't conceptualize things and thoughts, but a lot of his pattern behaviors was switching around, and he was saying seeing that he didn't accept things that so much, but now he was more accepting of things. Like that's why people go to movies to get those experiences, but in your own front seat. It's the perfect meme. A meme generated just for you. Like, oh, the movies you saw, the person you talked to when you was a kid. And that's what he also brought up in the Joe Rogan podcast as well. He said, I grew up in the Catholic church. I had 12 years of Catholic school, was a choir boy and everything. And I can say that this was my one religious experience. He said, I think that this is what they had to connect to God. And Joe Rogan's like, yeah, I think so. Hey, Drew. Yeah, it's like the ultimate symbol for it. Teamwork make the dream work. We in the dream. Yeah, you said the mushrooms was they had a way to make it talk. Mm-hmm. I saw something else on TikTok. It was some guy he hooked up the mushrooms to a synthesizer, and he like to a music device, and it was playing all like electronic music, and you could see it. He tested it by taking it off, and it wasn't playing anything. As soon as you put it on, it goes beep 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 beep. It's playing a little tune. Yeah, I think that's where they got the idea from. And it's like, oh, what about these mushies? Oh, in the Discord. Oh, yeah.
Let me
All
go
right.
so I can get that
Oh,
view
sorry
in.
about that, YouTube. We all up in
Sorry.
here. We got the squad. We got the team.
Do what I want. Yeah, let me get.
There we go. Thanks for the lookout. You
Yeah, hold on. Let me get that.
and for the coming storm, Alley Cat. Like, wait, I was on there. I couldn't hear anything.
That's the one that made me notice. Because I put the TV on, but I always mute it so it doesn't do the back echo.
So it was never for your reality. It was just sweet.
Yeah. No, so I heard your voice, and it was like fine with me, and I heard my voice because remember that's how we started off, just both of us. But
Yeah.
like, okay.
That's the twisting of reality. How we make our perceptions and stuff. And I love noticing that more as I get older and or wiser, whatever I'm in these situations, instead of getting caught up in it. Because you're like, wait, why are you doing this and that? And it's like, I wasn't even doing that. That's just how it played out in your story perfectly.
Yeah, that's how the perspective of situations could be. Like the people be at the party, and they're like, "Man, that party was great." And you're like, "I don't know what party you went to."
I was in the corner on the phone calling my dad. I was in the movie yesterday. I was watching Bringing Down the House.
Yeah.
You're
the guy who you walked by the guy who threw up on you, then the guy who spilled his drink on you. The other guy was like, "Man, I came in, I slid onto the dance floor. The ladies danced with me. Then I went over to my buddies. He handed me the good blunt. It was good in there, man. I don't know what you're talking about."
And then the tall tale, the magician is like, for me, seeing all of that too, and still like choosing, hey, do I want to enjoy it or not?
There's the other guy who's like, "Well, you know, I can enjoy this. I can enjoy it."
That's me. Ride around the block 3 times before I walk in.
Yeah.
Just peep the scenery. Like, how's this?
Gotta start dance moves early before I get to the floor.
I try to get out of that thinking too, but it be popping up. I'm like, I don't want to be that nerd. Just let it flow. Let it flow.
Yeah.
But that's the whole movie. Sometimes you need that nerd in the story. Pop out, have everybody laughing.
But yeah, you play the character for the situation to bring in that harmony.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what comes with people realizing having a lot of relaxation in who they are. Because like trying to be something else, like yeah, you probably eventually do that, but who you are now is real important for the situation that you're in.
Yeah. And when you relax into it and just let it flow, it's like, oh my God, nothing really actually to worry about.
Yeah.
Feel like you're on top of the world.
Comes out the way you want it to, or the way you would have wanted it to.
Yeah, that's the trick, you will. I like how you put that. Would have wanted it too. Because if you sit there and think about it and like plot, it turn all topsy turvy on you. For the most part.
You're like, oh man, I meant to do the, even if it's like dancing or something simple, you know, I meant to do the 2-step to the left. And now I'm sliding to the right. What's happening?
Hey, Charisma.
Now I'm sliding to the right.
Looking fresh. All right, let's do this.
Oh, make sure you mute Fred too. And yeah, Charisma, we're on the YouTube. So just so you know.
Oh, that's the problem. There we go.
Oh, you're doing the multiple echoes on my screen.
Take out to another dimension real quick.
Like, hold on. Reality are we in? There we go.
Zoom out real quick and then go back in. They say whatever. I was watching this guy. He say with every breath we're dying. I was like, you just learn how to die gracefully, like come back, go, resurrect.
That's how living and dying are the exact same thing. Every breath you're taking a new breath of life, but a new breath of, you know, you're giving up a breath of death or whatever.
And you taking on new thoughts, letting go of old thoughts. You die every day.
Yeah.
All the time. You get used to it after a while.
It's not
For real.
You actually think that you realize what death is, and you go, no, death is this thing that's going no. It's not that you start to try to focus onto one thing that you start to build up any type of anxiety. If you realize that it's your whole thing always, it wouldn't have that anxiety with you.
But with that anxiety, death is like an acceptance. Like acceptance of things. Like I thought it was like this, or it's just like this. And you kind of wanted it to be like this. Check it out. Smell the flowers.
Yeah. It's the way you would have wanted it to be like earlier. I thought it was going to be. It's like this. Oh, it's gonna grab me and rip me apart. It's waiting behind that corner over there. Nah, it's walked with you every breath.
I heard this cool phrase saying that some people just don't know how to be poor.
Yeah.
Like you could survive, you could do anything when you poor. You just got to know how to do it. Like survive with what's around you. That's why a lot of humans feel like I need that primal instinct still in me to do what I do.
Mm-hmm. And then they take it to an extreme many times where that's all they want to actually achieve after that point. It's like, oh, I'll just achieve my primal instincts, not realizing that there was that other part of you as well. It's just that you were forgetting a part that wanted to be reignited.
Hey, you will. That's why I appreciate that's why I appreciate all y'all too for telling y'all stories. I was thinking about Mike Tyson. Like he was all in it. And now like look at him being interested, and his memory recall is like on point nowadays. He be talking about history and science. Go tell him about dates. But before he was one track, just let me at him.
Yeah, let me at him.
And he even talked about that too. He can see the track that he used to be in, and compared to the, you know, how he's able to kind of walk freely across the plain. He just kind of was. But that's what happens too, especially after an experience. Your mind goes, you know what we were doing? We were stuck, yo. You know, we can learn anything we want to. It's not that we can't. Anybody who learns anything means we can learn it.
We were stuck, yo. Now we out of it.
Yeah.
And then it's rolling like, now what we gonna do?
Yeah.
I know what we gonna do, UL. We gonna get stuck back in it.
That's the whatchamacallit. That's the stake. I don't get stuck back in one though. What it is you realize there's so much more steak out there. It's like, what? They got T-bones? They got ribeye?
Hey, I just went through that 10 minutes ago. I was talking to my bro that stopped by, and he was checking out my garden out front of the tomatoes, and he now works on a commercial farm where they got way varieties of tomatoes, and he was breaking it down, showing me pictures. Like, you gotta come over, I'll give you some less acidic. It's got purple, black ones. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, what? Yeah, we making up tomatoes on the fly right now. Like, you can make up your own steak.
But ain't that weird that the reality kind of work like that? Like, once you start doing like one thing, like you'll start running in people like that do that same particular thing that you started doing. You start meeting people that's into that right there, like growing tomatoes.
Like, that's why nobody should ever get past that, like, that manifestation. A lot of people think it's from them individually, but it's just how the universe lines itself up.
Yeah.
And you just have to be there to kind of be aware. Old people used to talk about the opportunity
there to be aware.
A lot of people think their brain is theirs.
Yeah.
This one's from Best Buy or something.
I don't even think the brain is ours. I think it's everybody else's. It's not ours.
It's like this. Yeah, it's this huge connection. Just like how we observe it to be connections inside of our skull. It's this connection throughout a whole bunch of other things.
Hey, trust me, get in a relationship and you'll see somebody controlling your thoughts without you really thinking it or wanting to acknowledge it.
That's kind of what a relationship does.
Yeah, kids too.
Especially with children, certain acceptance. Okay, you can control this here, but I'm gonna have to own this one part here, and you find this kind of rhythm between the two. It's when that kind of rhythm isn't really beneficial for the parties that are involved that you start to get those toxic relationships. It's like,
and mushrooms is so powerful for that. Cause like even in like an everyday experience with microdosing, they'll have you like in a state of witness of what's occurring at the moment. Like if it's your daily pattern, like for the individual person, like even if they said it before, if another person was going through it, like for that, it's like, oh, it's like this, and then you get to choose.
Yeah, it's like it'd be reminding me of electricity, how one lightning bolt fractal out to these other ones. And it's like you on this one wave of thinking that, that where who knows where you got it from, but you on this one way of thinking. And then when you take mushrooms, it make these other paths.
Yeah.
Like put all these other paths in front of you and you going, oh, I didn't know I could do it that way. Oh, I didn't know I can go that way.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you can do this yourself. You don't even really. This is what's always happening. Get out there.
And then you keep that vibe up. Keep those I call it main character vibes. But I took it from like some slang. The main character vibes. Like, oh, this is all interacting with me right now. I'm not just walking to the side and I don't know what I'm thinking or anything. I'm actually interacting.
Like when you pick the character, you don't nobody come along and always tell you, you can change that character. You don't got to be that character. You can actually put on any character that you want. You can put on any character that you want. You don't got to be that one.
You say you got to be willing to accept what it comes with. That's what a lot of people don't fear too. That's why I like the idea of death. Like it's all just the same thing. Is what calls up for the moment. Like, oh, I would never do something like that. Or really not help the situation in a way because they like trying to like say that's not me.
Yeah. It's like it's weird too how everything that we look at or that we see or the ones we come in contact with, it's like we almost live their life out also in a sense. Like it
Yeah.
might not even be their life, but we'll have a perception of their life and how they're living their life. And we'll live that out in our minds. Like this is how they live. And it's like, like rappers and stuff. And it's like they don't
Yeah.
really live like that. But
Yeah. Even if they're not even alive now. It could be
yeah,
people that heard the story about.
yeah. Let's go keep them alive. Elvis ain't dead. He's somewhere in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, you keep them around, yeah.
Along with Tupac.
Yeah.
And that's why I like having these experiences. Like with I was mentioning Neil Brennan he was on Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking a lot, and I like that. That's gonna be broadcast to a lot of people. But he was saying how, damn it, I gave too much backstory. It'll come back to me.
He's like, I got on the backstory trade.
Elvis ain't dead. He impersonating himself in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Elvis impersonator. Trying to be the best Elvis. And he ain't even the best Elvis out there in Las Vegas right now. That's another thing too. A lot of these people that even we know, stars we know, like True was saying, that's just a front. That might not even be their real name. Like Navi was talking about Tupac. Their real name, everybody will be kind of like, what's his real name again? What's his real name again? And their real name will be forgotten. And all you will live by is the character that they were. Even if it was just a character in the movie. Like
living down in LA.
Yeah. The character can become such a person, like in your mind, that it becomes a real world for you.
And then it's like a nice, the way that I see that, like I've been in those, like I'm a translator first. Like I'm thinking way too much. But being in realities, being caught up in loops and stuff is the same as when people are going to fear being caught up in virtual reality. And when they're like, oh, people are going to create the perfect little world for you and you're going to feel like this and that and that. Some people going to just probably play the same game for the rest of their life, and others going to like be switching it up and stuff. Like, oh, I want to experience this and that. And then like do hacks because they probably going to try to stop you or something like that, or feel like you stopped.
Yeah, they'll have different experiences like that. People will, even the ones where they're trying to be hacked or stopped in certain ways, where you're like some kind of glitcher or something. They're trying to mess with your experience as you're glitching in these worlds. It's just maybe another experience that some people may want to actually have. Because I could see
glitch
that actually. Yeah. As a part of like a story that somebody would actually even write for themselves.
Like in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, Wreck-It
Ralph. Nothing is never for a reason. Oh, hey, there you go. Yep.
What's up with it? Yes, sir.
Yep. Hey, 7 Killer Pop. Is that 7 Dead?
Oh, George, my
y'all
boy.
good
George
tonight? How y'all doing?
Hey, George.
Nice to see you, George, brothers. It's always a pleasure to see the brother.
What's up? What's going on? What y'all talking about?
And Alley Cat and K Stu.
We're just talking about everything and a little bit of nothing, because nothing be holding that everything together. So you got to get in there and try to touch on it.
We're talking about flat irons and how they curl your hair down and make it like you got to make it go under your chin, like when you do it, like you know what I mean. And so when you comb it,
it pulls out them cheekbones.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Just don't turn the temperature up too high.
Yeah, put it on the highest heat too. Make sure that shit smoke.
No, you just want to be smoking after. You don't want to be smoking during.
Oh.
You say what?
You want to be smoking after you put the hot comb in. You don't want to be smoking during the hot comb.
Shit, my shit be smoking. I'm like, what's going on back there, girl? You everything good?
You might want to throw a little more water on there, girl. Get that spritz.
You know what I'm saying? I said, did you blow dry it all the way through, boo?
That spritz, huh? Get that spritz going.
Don't put your hand there. You're gonna burn yourself with that steam.
Hey, she burned her shit a few times. I said, girl, your hand's gonna be toe up. She gonna start. But you know, they tell you to use the comb. She wasn't used. I said, well,
Well, you know, you got to tell her to put down the cell phone. You got to be like, you can't be on Instagram and Facebook while you doing my hair, girl.
It's laid though. Hey, it's laid though.
that's
It's
good
laid.
looking.
That's
She
Hey,
laid
good.
nice.
looking nice.
Good looking. Yes.
Hey, anything? We was talking about mushrooms and stuff like that. Hair.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, different type of experiences. You know, anything that deals with the beyond and how the beyond entangles into your daily relationships.
Even with hair.
Yeah, even with hair.
The way we take care of our hair, wear it, like display it.
Mm.
Yeah.
The way we ain't, the way some of us ain't got no hair. Like me.
It's because you got that afro right now.
Gotta visualize.
I grow a fro. You gonna see part of it on the milk carton going missing.
I said I'm not gonna see everything you're saying.
See, everybody know about all that. I don't even know about what shrooms do, so I don't know yet.
Well, it's
And
similar
those-
to what you
those-
already experienced.
those
It's just a
little-
little bit more amplified of an experience.
But shrooms are like their own entity, though. Like they have like a personality to them. Like I do LSD to have like a shroom effect without the personality there.
The jokester.
So there's like a
the
mystical
personality
sense.
there.
So
Much
there's like a
have-
mystical
yeah.
sense to LSD, yes, but for some reason when you do just mushrooms, there's like a person that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Like you can sense a whole being there, like as if someone were in the room with you.
Okay, so yeah, my cousin said when she did it, my grandma came.
Yeah, because imagine if I had the exact what's called way of thinking that your grandma did, and you asked me a question, and I gave you the exact words that your grandma would have gave you, you know, technically, because I had the exact way of thinking and the like, you know, my perspective, you know, lined up really well with hers. So you could probably like in your brain while you're tripping, you could remember somebody so deeply to the point like you can manifest them in your head. And but for like some reason there's also this sense of knowing like there's a person.
The code is real.
there.
The code
Yeah,
it never
like-
left, but it's real.
Now that's crazy. Now, okay, so I had an experience like that, but I didn't take the shrooms though. I was in the shower and it was like something happened. It just felt like I was like someone was there. You know, like I don't know. It was like I was crying and I was just like, you know, like felt like I was releasing something, felt like I was like, you know, like changing in some type of way. And it felt like I felt a presence of something, but I don't know if that
Hey,
that
yo.
was, you know.
If you take away the like, it would be a mushroom experience. You'd be like, this happened, and I felt like this. I mean, and I was this, and it felt like that. Because I felt like a lot of times I say like this, I felt like I saw something, or and I felt like that's a part of my mind trying to keep the thing that's been surviving for so long the way that it has been. Like, this is how we survive. Like, that's too much extra. But really, it's what's always there. Or in, like, for you. That is what it say to me. So I
Yeah.
used to watch a bunch of medium shows back in the day. They used to be on talk shows, and they used to do what he was saying. They get on the wavelength of the person that they want to connect to, and then the person that they talking to in the audience will really feel a connection. And I used to think it was fake a little bit, but then now that I had these experiences, like I believe anything. Like people just working their magic in different ways, and like if you can get the right setting, like she was on a talk show, she had the commandments of the audience on her and stuff, so the attention, the vibe of the room, so whatever she's vibing on, they attune to it. So if they really believe her or want to, that belief factor is what makes the magic work. Like I used to hear in the past in Creole religions and voodoo and stuff say, hey, the magic don't work if you don't believe it. Like if once you start, or they say don't get into this stuff. Once you start believing it, you're going to open up all these doors and everything. Be careful.
Yeah, because then you'll be aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You open the door to that awareness. You'll start to see the things happening around you and on other people.
And I was mentioning earlier, well, I have not a hard time playing video games because I still can relax. Once it's on, it's on. But I feel like my life is the video game already. In so many different ways that I'm attuned into different things in my mind with the items, relationships, even the multi-dimensional aspect that I always tried to extract from the games I was playing. Hey, Stu?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel I
Another
have
one
to
who had the
say
hair
to
done
myself
today.
like, wait a minute,
It
this
looks
life
nice.
is a game. I said it a few times, right? But I said it in a way because like it seemed like, you know, like those certain laws that you learn, just little petty laws, not really nothing big, just like let's say do unto other that you want to do, you know, wanting to do unto you, whatever, stuff like just something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you really put that in action and you see the result of that, you like, wait a minute, you know, so it is, you know, a way you got to move through the life. And it's like a game because it's so many ways that you really can see your manifestation and basically can, you know, can
Pretty
basically
much.
like write your own story, put it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your own adventure game. You ain't locked into saying, oh, now you got to go through this. You see the starting missions come up. You like start seeing the extra settings and everything.
What's
Start
up,
talking
girl?
to everybody different. How's it going, Stu?
What's up? I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
All right.
Good.
I hear the grinder clicking.
Roll up.
His that
Georgie-
and the motherfucking
Georgie
his
Porgy
now.
pudding pie.
What kind of rap
Cat,
you
you done
got?
cool down yet? You still hot or what? Shit.
Who? What?
Who?
Cool down from the other day? You still hot? What's going on?
1:10 a.m.
Remember the other day? You remember what you was doing the other day? Don't perk.
I don't even remember. You're gonna have to tell me.
It's all
gonna be
good.
new to me.
Is that an entourage?
Oops. Yeah.
Yo, I haven't seen an entourage. No, it's all good. Yep, I haven't a Bluntville. Yeah, they don't sell those on the West Coast all the
that's
time.
East Coast. It's East Coast, every store. But yeah.
I noticed that
So
right
annoying.
away.
$1 for 3.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's like so
yeah, I
dry.
remember those. Take me back.
Sometimes it's really dry. You can't even roll it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
What time is it?
You gotta get
You gotta
some
get them
good
new and
water.
refrigerate them.
Oh yeah, those.
Hey, I tell you about the memory of things, how things unlock everything that you can touch can unlock a memory of stuff. I went back to Philly about 3 years ago and I smoked the entourage and the taste instantly threw me to every experience in Philly. I was chilling in people's houses on the couch. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, this is nice.
How about
The taste was a little different, but I was like, the memories was worth it.
have you ever had that with cigarettes? Like, I don't know if you smoke, but when I was younger, like, I didn't realize a lot of memories were locked in cigarettes.
Tobacco
So
has
when I
the
got
power too,
older
though.
and I smelled it again, like I came in contact with it. Because my mom, she was like an on and off smoker, so it's in there, you know?
Uh-huh.
so crazy. Like memories. Like, yo, I just went back to the 80s.
When she was in the bathroom smoking, and she used to go to the bathroom. That's all I think about
She would go
whenever I
outside.
smoke cigarettes.
Tobacco has that power to kind of link
The
it to your
bathroom.
memory.
I'm in the bathroom smoking. That's what that was. I didn't even know though back. I used to just think her shit smelled like some other shit that I ain't never smelled before. And that's what I always thought. And then like when I smelled smoke, it was like a cigarette. It was like, what? That's what she was in there doing. Like, okay. All right.
I tell you,
but
I
the
smoked
cigarette-
cigarettes for one summer because I wanted to fit in with the skaters and everything. I started with like these beady things. I don't even know what was really in it. It's like a quick hit, and I was like, try the cigarette thing out.
Those are eucalyptus cigarettes.
Yeah,
all this Indian writing on it.
Yeah, the
was
little
that
Indian
what y'all was
beaties.
talking about the
Oh, I
way
have
memories
that,
get
yeah.
stored and shit? Like
I'm not even sure there's
store
tobacco
memories.
in some beaties. Some beaties don't even have tobacco in them. They're just eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus? That's a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look that up. Oh yeah, y'all can keep going.
But no, you know how you store memories and stuff? Like you can store memories and like just people smoking without even knowing that that's what you was doing.
Yeah.
So like just the smell will bring that memory back. That's what I was trying to talk about, like how they were doing the rats and they were like doing these little things to the rat brain to where it made them see like something that wasn't there, whether it was a purple brick or just a color or something, and they trying to like find out how the colors like kind of coincide with your feelings. So which would go the same way with your smell.
Yeah, because color is visual, right? So just how you have visual memory, you see someone from years ago and it brings back,
They're gonna have to go into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh, that was it. Just hearing all your sensory perceptions.
Yeah,
So it's
that's actually what I was going to elaborate on. They're gonna have to go into the different layers of how you do these things too, because one color can be stored in different emotional layers. Like in certain settings, it can be like the blue that makes you cool or calm, but in other settings, it can be that blue that has you feeling sad or something like that, or other settings.
Yeah, but what if like which I think they already can do it to where they can show certain colors or certain things and then like manipulate your brain to feel certain ways. How when they
the traffic lights like that. Yeah,
yeah.
you have that.
Yeah. Or from your
manipulate
child
brain. Yeah, because when you see a track, you think stop and no, don't stop. Period.
Yeah. They give you a certain programming layer. That's what I was saying. Like you'll have to go and beyond. Like instinctual layers will probably have certain colors that trigger. Emotional layers will be able to be triggered to certain colors, and the logical layers will probably be triggered to different colors.
Yeah, I'll be going against those triggers when I'll be out in Orville in the town over, because allegedly, because not too much going on over there, so like it's a lot of open roads and stuff like that, and some signs that I'll be like,
you know about those dreaming fast.
But it be coming up just like that, because I would say that I'm thinking too much, but it's really just me learning stuff while I'm here. I'm like, oh well, I'm just going past that thought in my mind that made made me think that in the first place. I'm cool right now. There's nobody here.
It's kind of like I would think it's a train because it's always a track too. But it's also kind of like how a boat will sit in the water and kind of drift away from that spot. Even if you anchored yourself into that conversation in that area, you can kind of drift off of that thought. That wind can leave you behind.
Cheers, all the smokers and tokers.
Master Creed.
Yes, I keep coming up, but
hey.
As soon as Cat does the chairs, the gin's gonna show up and start giving away.
I ain't got nothing wrong, man. I wish I did.
See?
You got your chain rolled.
Yeah.
Everybody looking clean today, tonight.
Well, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. It's all about the out there party.
Oh, I know you out the balance, Master Creator.
Yeah, I
Even
want
if the
my
party is
right now.
outside,
We
like
at
just in the mud.
We got a little Airbnb and they doing their thing. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah,
I'm
man, I would
Hey, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yes, sir. And I love being in the space, the tie down space.
And I would hate for the Warriors to make it this far and choke in the champion. I'm just saying. I'm like, I didn't mean to throw it out there like that, but I'm just.
That's crazy.
Gotta reverse the curse.
I'm just saying, I was watching the game. I was mad when they didn't sweep them. I wanted them to get that sweep under their belt, bruh. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, that would have been a nice one.
True, no, he got his money still on the Warriors.
Man, I got my money on the Lord. You got me twisted.
You're 10%, huh?
I put
Can you
my
imagine
money
if
on.
you could invest in
put
a
it
stock
on.
that said
And it was the
or
Lord.
God?
The divine stock.
The Lord, thy God.
Start a Lord cryptocurrency.
But here's the thing is, though, it's one of the biggest markets right now, biggest businesses in the world. If you could invest and get a payback.
It's the Lord's money. Offering is the Lord's money.
If we start a Jesus cryptocurrency.
But when you figure out that all y'all is the Lord, then
let's
all
do
y'all
it.
I'm gonna change my last name to Lord so fast.
Like the straight.
You won't have to.
Crypto
They
Jesus.
can find the essence of it and continue. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
I think Ali translates to Lord. We're good.
She
We're
thinks,
good.
therefore she is.
Oh, man.
No, it's like the Most High or something stupid like that. I don't remember.
No. She thinks, therefore she is. He thinks, therefore he is. They all therefore I am, and I
There
am
we
the Lord.
There we go. Exact
Everybody
image,
gets a-
right? We're created in the image. The money is image. I think it
Everybody gets a-
translates. It really does. Listen, let me in the court. Let me in the law.
What's in my camera?
Yeah.
There we go.
But that'll be a dope crypto, though.
Yeah, but what would be the returns? Like,
Is it still, so
Everybody
it's still too
gonna
late for you to go out.
It's your offerings to the crypto God, the crypto Jesus.
They gonna automatically look when you just got the Jesus crypto. They gonna automatically think you're Christian. Automatically, like this is a Christian thing. We all need to. We need to make this thing grow because
They probably already have one.
Imagine.
That's what you're missing out. Is you thought it's a new idea. It's already been up there.
The Vatican.
Jesus
Hold
coin
on,
3.
man. Now I gotta look this up.
Let me know what you find.
They already got a Jesus coin. They probably got a Muhammad one.
What we playing?
Hey, Master Creator, who winning?
Jesus
Are we playing spades? What's going on?
Point to the winner.
I don't even know what kind of game this is.
Me neither. I've never seen this in my life.
What is this? Is that Yu-Gi-Oh
I
card?
thought it was Magic the Gathering.
It's some kind of mind or something. They say it's a psychedelic game.
Oh, okay.
Where's the bets? Where's the money at? I don't see the bets.
There's no. It's like a different type of card game. I think.
Yeah, they got a
They're
Jesus.
betting
Bet
their
with any
mind
game.
right now.
I was about to
The
say
winner
that you lose out on an emotion or something if you lose.
The winner loses an emotion. The winner gains the other one's ego.
I have a friend and she'll win, right? But
That
as
do
soon
look
as
like
we
Uno
start
trick.
playing for money, she lose everything.
What is that, though?
There's a
Dang.
mind with this.
What is
Doing
that,
good
huh?
before that?
Huh?
She was
She's
playing
doing
for
good
fun,
before
and
that?
then
Ooh.
No, she'd be winning. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're going to put some money down. Lose. Like, yo, what happened?
It's because all of y'all would be hustling that poor girl. That is wrong.
Man, listen, she pulled the
Damn,
biggest hustle.
Master Creator.
Y'all hustling that girl. That's wrong.
Old pool table trick.
Yeah, the old pool
Just
shark.
because she's Scandinavian again. Okay. Doesn't mean that I was smarter.
Is that all I say back there?
Hey, Master Creator, your
Eat
chain,
what?
your chain looking like the
Eat back there.
I ain't got no reception
Eat.
here, bro.
because
The Wi-Fi ain't too good in this area.
Yeah, apparently.
It's a
No, I was just saying that your chain looked like the Millennium Puzzle, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, and they playing cards and shit.
Oh yeah.
Or the Triforce in Zelda.
Yes, sir.
I was watching that
exactly what
movie
it
you was
is.
talking about, Just Ty. The one where dude and homegirl go back in time, and well, they go forward in time. They get in the little things, and they go forward in time, and it's like 500 years later, and it was supposed to be like a year.
And I missed that one.
You was just telling me about that movie, bro, the other day.
Oh, you gotta remind me.
Remember
Yeah,
the
So-
one girl, the one girl
Goddamn.
from Grown Ups
A few blunts
that was
ago.
Chris Rock's wife in Grown Ups.
Oh,
And then,
The Good
who was-
Place.
Yeah, The Good Place. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't finish it though, but I was like tripping out on that shit though.
Is it that TV show where they think they're in like the afterlife?
Heaven or hell. Yeah.
All the way.
They're
No,
like,
they
oh,
go to the
there's ice cream.
future, and everybody in the future is fucking stupid.
Oh, the Idiocracy. Not Good Place,
Yeah,
Idiocracy.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah,
is stupid
oh.
and shit.
Okay, yeah, that's a completely different movie. But yeah,
She's also
Yeah.
in The Good Place, though.
Yeah,
She's a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what you
Not
what you
sure.
think about the first part?
Not sure.
I liked it. It you know, it kind of makes sense, but it makes sense, bro. It was just funny. It was funny, you know.
Idiocracy was made so long ago to be
2000
actually
and-
lining up still to this day is just it's madness
I
because
think 2009 or 2002, one of those days.
No.
So was they really stupid or was they really, really smart? Like they was chilling.
Yeah, they was just chilling. They ain't give a fuck about shit.
yeah, it's not
They,
really
but
that
they said,
dumb.
bro,
It moved
they did
to
not
another
like the
type
way he talked.
mindset where they actually have the ability to have multiple you could tell by how he was watching TV and watching so many shows at once. They've kind of evolved like the ability to kind of have multiple things on their mind at once. They just don't use it.
Yeah, they can say, what's the need?
Why, don't people have that?
And he gave him an extra need because that was his normal world, his normal way of thinking. Just from the
It's
time he
probably-
came from.
Yeah. It's probably
The
because
movie-
their world had become like this thing where they didn't focus on one thing at ever really like at much as like we would. So as everything became easier, like the shirts just came out of that paper towel roll thing. Remember?
Yeah. Because the machines and everything, it like made shit easier.
Yeah.
Fucking Amazon, was that Amazon? That shit was hella huge.
If they had Amazon on there, that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
It was Amazon. It was Amazon, Walmart, or one of them. It was one
No,
of
it
those.
was like a Costco, wasn't it? Super
Yeah, Costco.
Costco, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that now.
And like the Hooters and the different names, they kept changing, but it was like the same format.
Yeah,
But the
it
name
kinda,
it just
Yeah.
changed just a little bit. It wouldn't be Hooters, it'd be Hooties.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bud fuckers became like butt
Yeah,
fuckers.
mud. Yeah, rub fuckers. Rub
And those are
fuckers.
all places where they try to give you everything they think you need.
That's what it is. Bud Ruckers.
That shit look like a motel.
He said
That shit look like a
hoodies.
motel on the side of the, when you go past on the highway, you just see the fuck records. You be like, is that a motel?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like Bud Ruckers, then it was like Bud Fuckers, and it was like the names would change, but it'd be the same place though.
Oh, did that show Oh My Balls?
Yo, I see they got
Yeah, oh my
Starbucks
God.
in here, but they put 8 instead of the B. I mean instead of yeah.
Starbucks.
Straight bucks. Straight $8. Straight.
Hey, the original Starbucks symbol was a full mermaid,
Oh
Yeah.
Full.
and then they
And then they
changed
just
it.
started closing in the circle
Remember?
more and
Yeah,
more.
they had a breast strap, remember?
Yeah, they had that too.
So
They
had
say there's like a hidden message to their whole fucking thing.
yeah, they're mermaid people selling you coffee.
Yep, their vibe.
I'm talking about from 76 gas station all the way to Starbucks. They symbols got hidden messages.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
That's why
Yeah.
they are as big as they are.
And that's what you were
Like
talking about
Nike.
colors and logos just now. When we were talking
Puma.
about the colors and the stop signs.
And
The,
symbols.
those,
and
Those do
shapes.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's like all of them got like a certain
Mm-hmm.
meaning. I mean, but I think it's an energy. It's an energy that's just been here forever. Like Nike
Yeah,
is like the one
that
goddess. I
swoosh,
forgot what goddess Nike was.
victory, night, goddess of victory.
Yeah, but it's been around so long that
Yeah, that energy's always been here, and these symbols kind of represent it over and over throughout ages. Yeah.
yeah, Puma is a goddess. Like
You had that experience, though. I've had that experience as well,
yeah,
where you see these different
yeah,
symbols in
right
the
on
world.
4ACO.
Yeah.
Where I seen the Baffa man. The Baffa
Even
man
in
had
nature, you'll
every
see these
symbol
symbols.
on his necklace. He had every symbol,
Yeah.
every like Gucci, Louis, all of them. He had every one that was going all the way down to the floor, like just all like emblems on the chain.
And you know what's another big store symbol is naming your
As a brother,
store something so simple that it locks into the consciousness of what everybody already thinking. Like
Yeah.
convenience store, liquor store,
yeah,
Chico
Yeah, I mean,
Chico restaurant or Chico burgers.
like
yeah.
like liquor store. I mean, it's the spirits,
Mm-hmm.
like liquor spirits. That's what
Yeah.
liquor is.
And there's spirits in the land too. Like lands, certain cities and places is controlled by, but not I wouldn't say like control, like oh man, watch out, but it's like it's one thing. So in that
Yeah.
one thing is one spirit, if you want to
You'll
look at it
feel
like
that
that.
too, though. You'll go to a certain town or a certain place, and you'll see how all the people there have this different essence, even though one town over, they act completely different. There's like these different essences that can be built up into the city, and how they'll even structure the city, and the people will all kind of fall in line with these patterns that they are to put themselves into.
Yo, you well being out here in Northern Cali, I understand now what I was studying in the past more when I was reading about the Masons and people saying, "Oh, they structure in the city streets to be like
Yeah.
this," and I was like, "Well, okay," but now I see why. I see, but not why, but I see the results of it.
Yeah. Masons don't just build the cities, they build the blocks that become the beliefs of the mind. And that's why everybody ends up being certain types of Masons over time. It's just that are you like a free-minded Mason? And that's what a lot of that stuff used to mean. But it's become like different organizations where they've lost the true old meanings, but it kind of are still going along with the pattern. Like the thing in Idiocracy, the different stores and stuff, they're still basically selling the same stuff, but they forgot where they came from. The people who work there are new people. You know,
They just donating to charity.
Yeah, in the mix.
And then doing whatever else they want to do. I was seeing about different sections of the Masons and that they still thrive today. I was like, but what are you? I see y'all having fun, but where's the like essence?
Want you to have like some other type of belief structure that they can kind of, when you're joining them, they need you to have a belief structure that they can kind of trigger you from. So they want you to be in some type of religion or some type of belief, so they can kind of always kind of use that programming to keep you in certain movements. It's the same thing with it's in that Dune movie, or in the book it's explained a lot better. But the Bene Gesserits have this thing called Missiona Protectiva or something like that, and they use that always to kind of, they show up on a world like in the 1,000 years before, you know, and kind of start to kind of give them all these beliefs and structuralize them in certain ways. So if they ever show up there again and they're in a problem or need certain people to do certain things, they just kind of will call upon these different triggers that they put into their cultures.
And people scared about the government control. So when they say, "Oh, they're gonna be a trigger on the TV, trigger walking down the street," why you acting that way?
It always remind me of cargo coats.
Yeah,
like the cargo coats where people
What's that?
come in, like that. Like say we got planes and we go into the jungle and we fly our plane in there. And we meet these people that just, live in the jungle and they don't have the type of stuff we do. And we leave. When we come back, they done built planes out of
wood and
and
stuff.
different
Not the
things like
worship.
that. They even dress like us. They made clothes like us and everything. They took our whole format and implemented it into their living, their way of living. Because like
There's
we
a
were
people
gods to them.
that Prince Charles and them actually manipulated, saying that they were these gods. And to this day, these people worship them. And they
And
actually
we
do honors and rituals every time they show up.
do you think that happened? I think that happened back in the day too. I think that's why we had the gods that we had.
Yeah, I
It's
think that
because
does happen a lot.
Yeah, did you read the? I was gonna say, did you read the Bible like that? But in the Bible, that's what the Jews did. They went, "Oh, this is my land. God said this was my promised land, and it was a whole tribe of people living there." Everywhere they went.
Yeah.
no, you
If
kill
it-
them all. You take all the younglings, and
It's
then
what
Yeah.
everybody do in most cases, but that's what they's doing too.
they come up with different ways to try to keep that belief going no matter what. Especially if you can put it into the belief structure to keep it going. Not
Yeah,
just
the
like,
belief.
we all die out, let it fade away. But if it's like, hey, never let it fade, put it in the children.
The belief structure is strong. It was just running through my imagination of like, yo, the preachers and stuff I see growing older was really just repeating these stories verbatim, just like, hey, this is how it was exactly, and this is why this is what it's teaching us right now. Like, wait.
And for one, they don't know exactly how it was because they didn't experience it, and then what they're teaching many times ain't to the situations that you're having. It's not that these teachings can't be used in the situations that you may encounter, but they're not teaching you how to do it.
That was
They're
the
just like,
thing.
hey, yeah.
They will show you that it will work because you say, oh, when you want something, pray for it. Look how it worked for the Jews. Pray, do it. It's going to work. But then it was the other side of people or in the mind where you say, wait, this is what they were doing to accomplish that, though.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the atheists and the anti-Christians and all this Luciferians coming up to say, this is what I am, because they like really feel like, oh, I was brought up in this and this is what I observed while I was in this. Like, it was murder. So that's what life is, murder. Like, that's what we all do, and that's all you get lost on at times. Well, some people get lost on.
We're gonna go there, we're gonna kill everybody, and we're gonna take all their stuff. We're gonna take the girls that we want, and then we out of there.
Yeah,
And it's
it became
funny.
a whole belief structure.
I was say it's funny because I think about the Vikings, and I used to say, how did the Vikings take mushrooms and still did this? I was like, that's human nature.
Yeah. That's the one thing I've noticed about mushrooms. People think that the mushrooms is going to turn you into this, oh, it's free love, everyone's always going to love each other. But the way that your mind will filter the information, it'll take these things, and that's where we get all the stories of what we would call the dark wizards, the dark soldiers, as much as the good wizards and the good heroes. It's just that, people will take these things. But a lot of times the Saurons are basically, for their people, the golden wizard. He's Merlin for them. He came in, he started doing all this for us, and now us orcs, we's living
He
good.
upped the
We
production.
have to live down in the caves. We was living in the caves.
If I'm warring with Just Tai, then Just Tai God's gonna be my devil, so.
Yeah. You make his things you demonize everything he does.
Everything.
Even if you like some of that stuff, you start to demonize it. Oh yeah, we don't even dance no more because Just Tai's people, they can really dance. So
they can really dance, and they be dancing and making it rain.
They took it too far. They don't even mean the same thing anymore. They done fucked it up.
That's exactly how it's going on in the body. They don't want to tell the people that. Yeah, so the dancing.
That's how old people be with music. Well, not every old person, but with the new hip hop, and you heard the old rappers saying like, "What is this crap?"
Look, I'm old. What you talking about?
You said that a few times.
But yes, man. Oh my God. And I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong. I think everybody doing exactly what they supposed to do.
Yeah, they just doing their thing. they could do it more harmonized amongst each other. That's probably, I think, what we learn as we kind of evolve into these like more and more advanced patterns. A certain type of harmonies performed. Like certain cells in our body, all they used to do is what we would consider war, and now they are us.
And they like, they doing different things, right? That's where some of our new thoughts coming from on caring about certain things.
Mitochondria would devour other parts of your cells normally, but now they're sitting in there going, I could give the power to everything if y'all will bring me certain nutrients.
Exactly. And then they start producing, and then like you got the DNA that can change over time.
Yeah.
I forget the name for it, but how your DNA can change over time depending on your experiences.
Yeah,
and like get to the X-Men level soon. Like, oh, this is what you can do.
Well, some of them are already at X-Men level. Think about your heart. Your heart is a muscle that never goes into fatigue. And it's sitting in there all
your final breath. That is exquisite.
Yeah, so sooner or later, those heart, certain heart muscle cells will migrate off, and they'll go. We can make certain muscles in the arm. We can become a type 3 because right now you have a couple different types of muscles in your cell. But probably at one time you probably just had one type of muscle fibers. But then they were migrate to 2 or 3. I think it's 2 types, but one has a type A and a type B now. But you might end up with a type 3 muscle fiber that is, when you start running or something like that, it can kick on, or you may actually have had this in the past, and it can can reactivate these, what we would call junk DNA triggers. And, you'll be able to do what we would call like that endurance running, like, they showed with Forrest Gump. He just kind of ran across the nation. They had people in the past that used to run. All they would do is run all day, and they'd sleep, get up, and start running again to do these message deliveries and things for kingdoms.
Oh yeah, run all the way across.
You got me thinking about 300.
Yeah.
Kicked his ass in the pit.
They had Just Ty running from San Francisco to New York.
Yeah.
Hey, I would do that. I watched this guy called Bear Son on TikTok, and he actually ran from California to New York. And then he took a couple months and ran back. And along the way, he was meeting people, stopping and like filming it and everything. And he a real cool guy. He like now films himself running on the treadmill. So I'm like, oh, he really about this life.
Yeah. He called on something that he knew was there or potential to kind of unfold.
And he always wears the bear mask too. I never saw his face. Nobody ever seen his face. He always has the bear outfit on. He'd be like, "Oh, it's so sweaty in here."
It's that's the bear who's running. He's that spirit
all the way. Like, I was telling you about the guy that made Shrek, Mike Myers. I'm sorry, what you saying?
Oh, I was saying King from Tekken, who wears that leopard's mask. Remember, he puts
the
it
full
on
human body.
Yeah, it's going to give him the ability to kind of absorb that leopard spirit, so he'll be able to fight. Yeah, there's an anime that has
Mike Myers. I mean,
it goes right what you all was saying with Mike Myers. How he's the latest show he wrote is talk about the Illuminati conspiracies, but they put like this ultra spin on it. The Contaminant. He said that some of the roles he didn't come up with their script until he was in costume. And then he said he started acting it out. He says a lot of improvisation in that show. I'm glad y'all liked it.
Yeah. There's the spirit in the character that you created. Like, yeah.
I would believe that coming from him, though.
Yeah. That's Shrek.
Gold member. Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah. Well, have you seen Pentaveret any of the season yet? It's on Netflix.
I have it.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny. It's kind of like, at first it's like making fun of a lot of the conspiracy stuff. And then it's like making fun of the conspiracy stuff with making fun of America and Canada.
Yeah.
And I like how in these shows, it was this other conspiracy show, how they showing how the conspiracy is a joke, but also be showing hints on how it's happening in some ways to the person that's talking and everything.
It's usually happening, but not in the way that they're trying to tell people.
Yeah. So like, oh, I get the message. Like, oh, I used to be like that all the time. Watch out, the government tap your phone. They got you. They out your window.
That explaining it, they understand it.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
In comedy, it's like comedy usually has the best way to explain it for me. It's like the people who are taking it really, really serious. It's like they're taking it so serious, they're missing the point. They're missing the whole where the conspiracy is coming from.
Yeah.
And isn't that always? Isn't that always the best times too? When you ran the campfire, and you reminiscing on memories and able to laugh on them. Like imagine, I always said to myself, imagine being in that moment and laughing. That's what the mushrooms be telling me.
Yeah. Talking about the one lady that when you driving up there, you see her in the rear view and all of you believe that shit. That shit was real. It was nothing fake about it.
Bloody Mary for the second in the mirror.
Like I seen her too.
Candyman. We're going in that bathroom and saying it. Y'all
even if you said I seen something, I ran before it really came out.
What happens in the mirror?
So, Bloody Mary will show up in the mirror and kill you in the mirror most of the time. Or Candyman shows up in the mirror and tries to grab you.
Yeah, but you so fast, you always get away.
You can outrun the Candyman in the darkness from. Yeah. But look, here's the thing though. Remember that girl
what's going on?
Took the DMT and the portal opened up in front of her and she took off running down the street. You can outrun the portal sometimes if you have to.
You just gotta really believe it.
She said my jaw kept dropping and it was fractating into fractals.
Oh, I remember that. Her whole body started doing that. She was walking down the street.
Yourself falling apart.
What's up, Theo? Hey, but what's crazy about that? Like when we hear stuff when I hear stuff like that, I'd be like, oh my God, I wish I could have did that.
I do too. And that's what Neil Brennan kept talking about, that we'd say a lot too. But he was mentioning that it was like the experience that he has now, and the experience of having the psychedelic is like he has the juice, but the squeeze is a fucking squeeze. Like you're gonna go through something, but it's like, yo, you want to get squeezed sometimes, but you don't know that you want to. But when you take the substance, you know what you gearing up for if it comes up, because when you could try to block some things out, but when it's there, it's like it's there, it's apparent. Well, at least for me, most times
it literally feel like I'm getting squeezed, like I'm a lemon. Yeah. like it's twisting me in and out of realities. I be feeling like a literal lemon, bro.
That's what I call the folding and infolding and unfolding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'd be like, oh, when you die, you just fold into another reality.
Like, oh, here I go again.
Folding. Yeah. It's constantly folding, shifting, changing.
I remember the mushrooms was doing it to me in the living room. I'm like, no, you can't fold me up yet. I gotta get back to my room.
I remember stopping it. And then, the floor started going, and then it started talking through the people around me. And he said, maybe you should stop trying to explain and just go lay down. I was like, yeah, okay.
I was watching that too. It's like near-death experiences. Like when they have these near-death experiences, like afterwards, they have the same synchronicities that you get off of mushrooms. And I'm like going, this cannot just be like something that's not a thing.
It's a thing. No one wants to actually make it a science yet.
Hey, that's we here for that. We here to recognize what's been going on with our experiences and being like the chemical. Yeah, I was gonna go into that. Like it's the neuro. Whether it's a neurochemistry or is it the experience that you're having, and what is the difference between what is real, what is fiction, non-fiction, how can somebody get lost in a non-fiction book? I mean, a fiction book, and like lost in worlds. Like, how is all of this? What is your experience? But only thing we can say is what we experienced. And like, if multiple people are coming across these same factors, what equations are we going to make now out of it? Like you say, the science. Get into Rick and Morty world.
You think about it, these things always existed. They're nothing new to the reality or to what this is. None of it is new.
Yeah. It will shows you that it ain't new. It's like, what are you talking about? You do. What are you talking? You's doing the new stuff.
None of this is new.
This is why we put you out there. Go do some new stuff. But we've been here. Watch it. Look.
We've been here.
Do you remember when?
And
I was just imagining somebody braiding their hair and them thinking that they came up with it. And then, like, in another way, like somebody guiding their hands, like, yeah, like, and that's the thoughts they like, and they feel it as, oh yeah, this feel good. Like, I was just imagining this and blah blah blah. But it's like things pass down, like nothing is new.
I'm glad they let me up in here to do this, because you couldn't braid it like me. Let the braiding spirit take over. But that's what I was saying. Like we think like our brain.
They want your Instagram charisma. They want your Instagram charisma. The people on YouTube.
They want my Instagram?
Yeah.
Why?
They say you flying smooth and suave today.
Yeah.
Oh, my Instagram.
They want to see that play on the daily.
Drop it.
You see how he fixed this tie though? He's straightened his tie up. My Instagram is Charisma Jones.
Exactly. That's all it is. It's pretty simple.
Charisma Jones. The one and only.
That's right. Put it on the check.
They retracted it, but they know what they wrote.
Yeah, but I'll never understand, bro, how the shrooms can see the future. I don't give a fuck. You can say whatever you want. I will never be able to understand how they can show you the future at any time. Of what?
Look, check this out. If you in the network, then what is the future and the past to the person in it is going to see it. I'm not saying it's like that, but imagine it being in the network. Like you looking around in the network and they like, this is the network though. Like we just see the network.
Yeah. I kind of get it. I get it. Like how a flower grows. Like it just grows. It does that. So it's like your life just goes. It does that. So it's like, I don't know, bro. That it don't make sense, Ty. I don't care.
No, it's like the spider though. Think about how the spider puts up the web, and those other spiders like, hey, you're gonna have to put up the web like this. Yeah, this is how we do it. Yeah, the spider just goes out there, he puts the web up, and it's like a part of its network. It's like, oh, you got to do this to get that network put up to catch whatever resources still live, and that part of itself just comes out and does it.
But if you get a spider some weed. Don't put up its web a lot different than the one before.
Yeah. Yo, true. I saw somebody hypnotize a turd.
He's gonna build a hammock. He's gonna build a hammock.
Put him up a hammock.
It's chilling.
Designed him a lava lamp.
And then the cocaine spider's gonna come and jack the weed spider and make him his bitch. And then it's all gonna be fucked up.
He's gonna be like, we didn't used to be like this. You start doing them drugs.
More information
you got
on
a lot of holes in your web. You let
but that don't matter because the crackhead spider is gonna be over there keeping all the other spiders entertained and confused.
Have y'all seen that though? Like to where they got the spider on nicotine. They put the spider on weed. They put it on different things.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, the drunk spider made a web and just had a bunch of kids. and didn't take care of them.
No.
the LSD spider like made all these like crazy ass webs and shit.
It's like, what is that even used for? You can't catch no flies with that.
the drug
It looked
spider,
nice
like,
though.
Yeah, it's worthless. Yeah.
The drunk spider not gonna make a gang of kids, bro. The drunk spider gonna do weird shit. It's not just make kids. The drunk spider
The
gonna
drunk
be
spider's
on
crashing into other webs for no
yeah,
reason.
and the other webs, you doing some whole other shit other than making kids. You feel me? That's like, he said, "Hey, my Stilo, nigga, I'm crazy."
Yeah. Straight up.
Oh, I didn't
Come
see
back,
that
your
video.
web all fucked up. It's like, oh shit, John the Spider was drunk yesterday. He fucked my shit up and built him one. It got hella holes in it and shit. This nigga ain't never gonna catch nothing. Ever. It's weird though how spiders just get that vibration. They just, that vibration will it'll send that vibration through the web and it'll go all the way to the spider and make the spider react off just that vibration of the web.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
That's
what they choose to be in tune to, or what they involved to be in tune to.
Yeah,
The tiniest
they
slight.
can tell, like they can even tell the size of the insect that's in the web.
And I believe it, because that comes with paying attention to things, like in certain things with your mind and repetition. And if it's based off of your survival, I'm thinking like a scientist. Like you start say like really having some good guesses. Some good.
Yeah, have you ever did that? Like you go outside, you see a spider web, and you can tell when it's fresh or not. And you just like take some water on your hand and sprinkle it, and then the spider will run out there and shit. But the wind will be blowing it, and the spider will never run out with the wind. But if you just throw a little water on there, it'll give that vibration and make it run out, thinking it's food.
Something that's triggered it. Yeah.
It's like I ain't stupid in that sense.
Hell yeah! Like
I was thinking of I didn't see that video, but it was this frog that. It was this frog that they hypnotized on the video. They was blowing weed in his face, and then they put like the swirly circles, the black and white in front of it, all around it in like 3 different angles. I was wondering, like, yo, this is what happened to that toad, like the story we was telling.
Yeah, I've seen them hypnotize a few animals, but some animals are easy to hypnotize. They say like a chicken, you do certain things to chickens and birds, they hypnotize easy. Certain cattle, over generations, people have found certain ways to poke them or just grab them by like certain parts of their body, and they'll just kind of go into a paralyzed state.
That was on the movie Barnyard, the bad Jersey kids. They was going to the barnyard to mess with the cows.
the fact that you can train a pigeon to fly different from claps is just amazing.
It's extravagant. That's why Mike Tyson be trying to talk about it. It was somebody that actually asked him, "Are you one of the only pigeon people?" I was like, "What?" Like, no, it's a whole culture.
There's a whole community of those type of people.
Hey, did you ever watch Hey Arnold growing up?
Yeah.
Remember the pigeon guy, and then eventually he floated away.
Yeah, those always have that guy.
Yeah, isn't it ironic that Bergman is on fucking Rick and Morty?
What is Bergman?
The thing is, have you noticed that these like it's like you were saying, that they take a show and these shows are built up of all the other shows that have ever existed before them.
All the best shows though.
Yeah.
Like the movie are made off, like even the movies are made off like some of the best movies that was ever created.
Yeah.
Every part. Like did you see the video? Okay, remember when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Swat.
And now they came out with the video of the one guy who did the movie in the 70s. Exact same thing that happened.
I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, exact same thing that happened though.
Yeah.
And everybody like, is Jamie Foxx in on this? Because he was in there too. He was in the skit.
No, that's history repeating itself.
Our life imitates art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In reality, it's just part of the whole joke of
It's more art than you think. And that's
like,
why they say
man,
be
I was
careful
just
what you
text
wish
messaging
for.
somebody about this. Why is this now happening? And then that joke would kind of roll, and you're like sitting there watching it. And as long as you watch it, the joke will keep rolling. It's like,
keep rolling. That's why
Yo,
I be
what?
mad. Well, I laugh at everything now. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know how to get rid of this cosmic giggle.
Why? Why? Why go into anxiety?
You know, I don't laugh at everything. Like I laugh at everything because everything is like one big fucking joke.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what it is. Oh, Kevin got shot. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And it's like, what the fuck am I laughing at? Why am I laughing at that?
Did he hit his head when the little fall?
I don't know, but it's like, wow, bro, I don't want to laugh no more. Okay, I quit. I quit laughing.
Yo, it was one time I had the giggles so extravagantly, and I was with somebody else, and we had to eat more than a half an ounce each, because we were supposed to just share a couple grams, and then afterwards he started having these other vibes, and I was just going with it like, oh, this is just like a spirit, like, all right, we're gonna eat some more. He's like, oh, let's eat some more, and then we just kept munching on them for like a good 45 minutes. So it's kind of spread out. But when the news came on and stuff, I was just laughing because the owners of the house came in. We was like working in their house, trimming and stuff, and they came in, and when they came in, I just kept laughing. I just couldn't do nothing, but every time I looked at him, I would just start laughing. I was like, yo, like, it wasn't funny that the way that he was dressed, but I was like, yo, like, he dressed up. Or I was like, oh, look at him. Or I was like, oh, look at her, right? It was, everything about him was just funny about what they was putting on as a person. Like, oh, this is a person. And then when the news came on, I was like, everything they saying, they look like cartoon animals to me. And then I was like, yo, they really talking like this. Like, this is actually happening right now. And I couldn't stop laughing for like a good 2 hours.
It's trippy. Trippy. Like the little mini pit bull almost just got hit by a car today. I laughed at that. Probably the way they chased it out in the street and threw their hands up like it's over. Because the car was right there, but he turned around. I still laughed at it. Why are you laughing at that? It's like, I don't know.
Hey, true. I grew up on MTV, Adult Swim, like internet videos when I used to find on Newgrounds in middle school. We used to go in this, they used to make flash videos like this show called Happy Tree Friends. And it was like these cute, cuddly animals, but they got real violent. I always used to look back like, oh man, what was I into? Like, what the heck? But then I'm like, that was my human childlike curiosity just at work as it is now still. It's just like, you don't live that life out. Like, oh, well, I want to be a serial killer, but it's just funny.
Like when you go back to like the cartoons.
But you also see the potentials that is in there. Like it's like the Dexter one actually showed a lot of weird potentials.
Yo,
like,
you will.
I can be the killer who killed the bad guys. Oh,
I want you to keep going about it, but I actually stopped watching that show at some point because of that, and then I started watching it again after some revelations. I was like, yo, I agree with this guy a little too much.
Like, Wile E. Coyote killed himself so many times, bro. In every which way possible.
That was his thing. Wile E. Coyote. But look, also them when they would mess with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
They would mess with Bugs Bunny, they'd mess with Bugs Bunny, they'd mess with Bugs Bunny. They know messing with Bugs Bunny gets them killed. They would actually go through the thing.
Like I mean, what's his name? Daffy Duck used to take a slug to the face and just
his beak would just a double barrel
with a double barrel to the face, and his beak could just spin around or some shit.
Yeah,
you laughing like the shit funny.
I grew up on Looney Tunes, and then they had the nerve to put classical music.
Yeah, they
They had the nerve to put classical music in the background. So you just like chilling while all this is happening. And that's what was happening during one of my mushroom experiences, when I was seeing a bunch of fire and bodies. But it was a place where it started playing music, like the most classical, what people call heavenly music. Right? And it was beautiful. It made everything as it was. And that's when I was allowed to like travel to the dimension after that.
Yeah.
Like
but
relaxing with that.
It's like even in our generations and civilizations and cultures, we're always still trying to make people accept like the fear of death or death in some way.
Yeah.
I used to when
culture of death.
Mm-hmm. I used to, when I was young, used to look up to I think it was some scientist or some person in the book at school that used to keep a skeleton head on his desk to remind him of his own mortality. I was like, oh, that's real metal.
Isn't that Sagan?
Carl Sagan did that? Sagan? I don't put it past him.
Sagan may have actually done it as well, but he might not be the originator of the idea.
No, I doubt it. It used to be skulls just when you walk down the road.
Like, it got so quiet in my house.
I'm
scared. There's too many people in there for it to be quiet. It feel like something happened, but I'm about to tap out, y'all. I'm about to.
What y'all doing in there? Make some noise.
Hey, that was an excellent time, True.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Ty.
Yeah.
Anytime.
All right, peace out, everybody. Charisma, Alley Cat.
Have a good night, True.
Navi.
Don't let them surprise you when you walk into the room.
Man, I know, huh? I know everybody was in the backyard, but I don't know where they at now. It's quiet as hell. It's trippy. But all right, y'all.
Adios.
Good night.
Enjoy the night is something. Because I think that's when you really get them lucid dreams.
Yeah. And then lucid dreaming, and we were talking about this the other night, me and Drew. Sometimes, and Theo was there too, I believe. It's not about, taking that dream and changing it. Sometimes it's like just you being the awareness there. You're now caching that memory so you can remember that dream, but letting it play out to see what's really going on in these other realms of your existence. So you're not just in that realm wandering around, like making that guy late for business that day or whatever.
You're like, oh me, oh my.
Why was I on the bus wandering around the whole city today?
I try to introduce that to people in different ways, but it just goes with the flow. It goes with the flow, because I be seeing that. I was mentioning to somebody how they said, oh, I wish it was a reset button on life and I could just pause reality. And I was like, oh, if you take some mushrooms, they say, oh, life is still about living reality and stuff. Like, you still got to live and stuff. And I was like, no, but like the experience, you literally would like say, oh, what is everything I was ever worrying about? Like, that's the pause.
You actually will take a pause. Yeah. But I notice a lot of people take mushrooms as this thing where they think you're trying to escape reality, but most of the time what you're doing is trying to understand another layer of reality on the in a part of yourself that is like completely left out through day-to-day experiences that we've put out there.
And isn't that a huge oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of what we're trying to reach for on our daily experiences.
Yep. Try to reach for, and like we try to just play the role, but then still try to search at the same time. We're like, oh, I made myself forget, but I really want to remember.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier, about the whispers of imagination in the youth that comes through art and movies, or through like people that you look up to in family, or like people that the family bring around and stuff like that. And like just one little phrase carry you through years of your life.
Or not even the phrase, just the remembrance of them and that energy that they gave you at that time.
Yeah, the energy is what it's about.
Yeah, there's certain teachers or things like that. You don't even really remember the things that they used to say, but just that teacher is the one that sticks with you, or that adult, or not even an adult, that friend or whatever. Sometimes even a younger person or an animal or something. Yeah, that's the energy in that moment can kind of give you.
That's why I don't beat myself up for not remembering names. I do my best, but I be like, I know the energy, or it's in me, it's working on me.
But that layer of you is not really, it's not the logical name that you were kind of, it's that energy of the person, is or the group of people. Because teaching like a whole bunch of the kids and stuff like that, you don't ever really remember their names a lot of the times, like you're saying, until they actually display that energy in front of you again, and that energy will kind of bring up all the things that they are, like, oh, they do this thing like this and this like that, and guess what else, this is the name that they go by, or this is what they like to be called. And
then you're like, oh, they put a symbol on it, then you could unlock that symbol by thinking about their name every time. Like, just go dive into that. Use it for what you need.
Works on that same thing. The spirit lives on that, at the tip of your tongue, right on the edge of your mind type thing, where it's like, it, but it's right there and you can't say it. It's like, the verbs, you know the tones to come out, but it's like you can't put them together right.
You say Limvardia Gladiosa.
Comes out all Latin.
Or like, I used to always think that watching the supernatural shows growing up, like, did the directors and writers, are they really saying something? Did they know something and coded it on a TV show? Because my grandma, she used to not let, I used to have those thoughts, the origin, because my grandma used to cut off my anime, because I used to only be able to watch it on her computer, because I used to watch it in Japanese and stuff. And she's like, you don't know what they really saying. They could be saying some spells and stuff on your life, and you don't even know. I mean, it got subtitles.
Your grandma was, look, but that's what I've noticed. Like, people who would consider themselves to be real Christians are actually more into witchcraft and other things than they actually want to say about it.
They like, I know this is going to work in some way. I just don't know. So you got to stay away.
They didn't train me in this type of magic. So, you can't be doing it because you don't really know how it works around here.
I brought that up to the church I grew up in before. Cause I was learning about powers and everything. And it's like, that's something the devil does.
No, but that's like the people over there having a VCR, and no one ever knows how to use the VCR over here. So, but you're like, man, but I figured it out. You just put tapes in, and you watch. You can put any tape in you want and watch things that you want. And that timer thing is not really flashing evil eye at you. You can set that thing, and it'll tell you the time of the day.
I tell you what, that's the story of what I've been existing as. They be asking me to hook up all their technology since I was real young. Hooking up their speaker systems and everything.
Because for a while their technology was demonized. Even down to just the simple radios were demonized.
Yeah.
Then it was certain shows.
What was that magic box talking with a voice going through it? Imagine taking it to the past.
To be honest, even a simple lighter in the past, you'd be some type of super wizard. Look at this super wizard walking around. Look at that.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I disconnected my headphones from the...
Oh, even a simple lighter, if you walk around in the past, you'd be some type of super wizard. They tell you how you got some type of magic that they've never seen before.
That happened in the movie Black Knight with not Will Smith, but Martin Lawrence. And he had a lighter, and he's like, what is this? I used to watch that back to back.
A simple lighter, but then it'd be some kid who goes, you know what? He takes it and he breaks it down and he figures out how to make them, and Some old guy who's
Whispers.
actually worked with minerals, has done steel work before. Because that becomes certain magics too. What they used to call the smitheries and the crafts.
Yeah. That's why my inclination was to pay attention to it when I used to watch it on Discovery Channel, and like what they was actually talking about, why they were making it, like how they felt, why they were doing it. Like, oh, this is a spirit, like a craftsman, like a craft woman, whatever it has to be.
Yeah, there's certain energies they have to put in, the certain understandings of essences, the visual like acuity they have to have. Because if you watch them, a lot of those old steelsmiths, they're not using any type of temperature guns and all this type of special equipment to know what the metal's like, and they just eyeballing and smell and that feel in the room, and that's some of
Yeah.
still the best metal works to this day. They built bridges since, and they have things that have fallen apart compared to things that are still standing up. They have this tower in the middle of India that's made out of iron that they built. They don't even know when it was made. It's so old. Yeah.
No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but they'll have
They got a bunch of
ironwork,
monkeys on the side.
steel works.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll have extreme ornate like stoneworks that people have done in the past. They're like amazing.
All they
But
did
it's
was
just,
see what they saw and replicated it.
putting that craft that and even if they just saw it in their imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people forget that now. Just because it's in your imagination, they think it's like, oh, complete fantasy. But that's what cell phones are, complete fantasy.
Everything speaks to reality. That's why I like to listen to the old and the young. Like, listen to the old say, oh man, I never thought this stuff would exist, or listen to my mom saying, I used to watch this stuff on the Jetsons and stuff like that. Like, this is like, yeah, this is magic. Like, I might think I know how it works and can make one if I put my mind to it, but still, like, I put my mind to it. What is that mind that's doing it?
Yeah. That's where all these things come out of. The great mind. That's what I was saying earlier. What you got to touch on that nothing, because nothing seems to be keep pushing out all this something. All that nothing there is like hidden in between and just waiting to show a new something to the world.
Yeah, and that's how it comes off to the person that's struggling through encountering that nothingness. You start going through a lot of despair, or coming off as dark, or coming off, I'm just being real and stuff like that. And like, you just at that point where if you just even let that go, then it's something that everything you've been doing is leading up to, like that whole thing.
Yeah, that's just forming a resistance to stop that unfoldment, that last fold that will give you that when you kind of pull it apart. Then, because have you ever done origami and realized it looks like nothing until you get those last few folds in?
Yeah.
Last few simple folds, then you pucker it in a certain way, and there you have like an animal. But if you just kind of looked at it as a piece of paper flat on the ground, it just looks like a piece of paper folded up all weird. But you learn to kind of give it that perspective too, not just the unfoldment. Because a situation can happen and you can see it in so many ways where you're like, oh, it's not good for me, and it's just flat. It's not giving me anything. And then the other person's like, but like I was saying earlier, oh, but it's a cosmic beast and we can ride it. Just come on, get on. You just got to get on there sometimes, see the different perspective. And a lot of times, like you were saying, the manifesting of it, where things will kind of come out, like, and they'll set themselves up where it's like you're growing tomatoes, another person's like, well, I see you growing tomatoes. Look at all this other variety we got here. And, I do this with my tomatoes. Yeah.
Right away.
Accepting it is another thing. A lot of people don't want to accept sometimes. Like if you're working out or you're fixing something, I used to do this. Like my mom used to always say it. Like it's strange that you do that. A lot of people don't do that. Like you'll be fixing something or working, and somebody will come up to you and they'll give you like some type of advice on how to do it from their experience, and you'll try it their way, or accept a little bit of their way instead of going into complete resistance where your brain starts to cuss in your own head, and you're running your verbal box to cuss and waste the energy that way instead of just trying it.
race the energy. That's the energy too. It feel like you pushing it instead of just, oh yeah, I already got everything I need, even the people around me. And it get like that even when you by yourself. I'm gonna say yourself, and you like trying to put something together. Like when I was building the plant box and even trying to come up with anything, just noticing the things that surround me and just putting things together. I mentioned earlier, somebody mentioning some people just don't know how to be poor, like how to just make something out of seemingly nothing, but that nothing is everything.
Yeah. How to be poor, how to that's that craftsman skill too, though. That's where a lot of that craftsman energy comes from at first. That muse, that, oh, let's make something. Let's do the creation work. It's that divine ability to create.
And set my life path on it as well.
Yeah.
And now it's cool that we can have multiple life paths too. Nowadays. Still take that craftsman that's going to come up out of the bunch.
Yeah. Well, if you know that thing where like they build those stones and they place them into the river so that they can walk across it to make that bridge. Yeah, that's like you just have to keep crafting into each stone so you can keep making that. But in each part of the river, you have to know the symbols to make it float there. It's not like you can just go, well, I know the symbols for that part of the river, I'm just going to use them everywhere. It's like, oh, down here we got to kind of adjust the symbol this way, and then this is how it works. And it's like that in business and different type of social. It's going to be very similar to the symbol work, but it's going to be adjusted in a way for that situation.
Hey, it has me thinking that's how powerful the artificial intelligence AI is trying to be with simulations. Even with simulating how money is going to turn out with businesses, like they already relying on that stuff.
But even AI, I don't separate from the mind that we're using it. It's like we're kind of making this thing to kind of expand upon, and as an extension of the mind that we know.
Like I said earlier, hey, it's so I forgot that I got everything around me that I need.
Yeah. Even now we have the talking crystals that we were talking about in the past. Like, where's the magic crystal that you ask the questions to and it can give you the divine answers? Here it is. It's called AI now.
Yep. That's in a whole nother form. There's no need to fret. No need to say, no need to search. It's like it's right there in your hand on your phone. Right, so many different forms.
Using your magic black mirror. As soon as your black mirror powers up, you can ask it the questions that you need.
That was my first thought about watching that show too, the Black Mirror. I was like, yeah, this is about the phone, and I was thinking about Black Mirrors and Skyrim with like the John D.
Mm-hmm. All the same magic.
And I used to do that myself, just looking into it.
But it's like we have like this network that we're making here for us to entangle with on a physical level, because we have the same network that we're kind of basing it on that energetic spiritual level, or what by any term that you want to call it. On that, that energy level, it's just the same thing. It's just another layer of entanglement.
It's like, I believe I could fly. It's like, all right, so then go learn how to fly a plane or fly a drone, build a plane, doing some simulations in a game, maybe.
Yeah. All the different forms and fashions until you actually are forming some type of device or way of adjusting your form, your matter in this world, to that matter can actually do that levitation that you're talking about.
Yeah, don't just jump off a roof. Like, just sit on the floor first and see if you float. Yeah. Then go there.
But the thing is, if you realize what that actually jumping off a roof is you're not flying. You're just doing the falling thing. That's the thing that you're trying to get around.
I believe.
That's why you don't jump off a roof anyway. When you figure out that you can fly, you don't jump off a roof. You go lay down on the ground someplace and try to levitate.
That's how Gohan. This is some lore, but that's how in Dragon Ball Z, how Gohan taught Pam, a human, how to fly for the first time. He was like grounding her to the earth and everything, and it was out in the open field, and she was feeling the energies and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, here, just take it. Push her off.
I think if a human could realize like a certain type of energy by watching another doing it, after a while, then they'd all start doing it. It's like this inevitability for them to kind of get the understanding that the other ones around them are displaying. It just usually has to get to like a saturation point where it's like that 1 teaches 2, and then that 2 teaches 4, and after like a certain saturation point, all of them just kind of innately have that ability. It's like children now being born to use cell phones. You're
real.
You're using 30, 40 years of experience to use a cell phone, and a child is coming out in 3, 4 years. It's like, can you get me this app? I want some of this. Exactly.
Hey, let's move back out to the panel.
Oh, what's up, Tom? What's up, you well? What's up, Alley Cat? What's up, Stu? And who else is that? Nabi?
Hey.
I'm out here whipping it.
All right. I'm glad you're able to drive. I heard about the accident and everything. I'm glad everything is cool.
Yeah, appreciate that.
What you smoking on?
Natural American Spirit.
I heard those hit hard. Uh-huh.
He's out there doing that tobacco shaman.
Nice.
There's this thing called.
I used to roll spliffs with those back in a while ago.
With cigarettes?
It's an American Spirit. You got to roll your own. Take it out the bag.
Oh yeah, they did have those. Yeah.
Espresso.
And tobacco and the papers. That's on this side too. They may not have it on that side, on the West Coast. I've noticed tobacco products differ between where you go.
Like, you should have something in American Spirit.
They have chewing tobacco big here, but I didn't see it anywhere up north.
Yeah, we ain't wasting our money.
Yeah, there's some big chewing tobaccos around. Like, I used to work for this guy when I was putting in pools and stuff. His thing was putting the tobacco in, him in his spitting cup.
I was thinking that's all people think about in the East Coast, like baseball players spitting and all this spitting and stuff. Like, I gotta deal with that.
You ever tried chew?
What
was that?
I never actually tried it.
You ever tried chew?
I never actually had it though myself.
Did what?
I tried a little bit. It was nasty.
I've seen them do the snuff, the chew. I've seen the fruited hookah tobaccos, which can be all right. I used to take a little bit of the hookah tobacco. Like, it kind of come with the sticky stuff that was actually the flavoring of it, and I take the weed and I roll it in it, and the weed would kind of get that mango-y flavor on it. It was like a mangosteen or something. It was.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure if they were chewing that. That was like hookah tobacco.
Okay.
Yeah, but they probably had a chew that was similar. Because the chews, I saw there was like 50, 60 flavors at one point. And in those little rolls, they kind of look like chewing gum rolls, 6 feet of bubble gum rolls.
Yeah.
Gotta get it rememberable.
Well, you want the kids to transfer over. Remember, same thing with the chewing gum. They used to have the chewing gum in the pack that was just like the tobacco pack.
Yeah.
I used to have it.
Cigarettes, the cigarette candy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cigarette candies as well. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna mention. I used to have all the cigarette candies, and I used to like the designs on the boxes and all of
They
that.
still have them. They just call them candy sticks now, and they took the red part off the end.
The red part. That's the best part.
They used to have that little red dip on the end.
And look at me smoking now. I went through the. I'll go. Look at me coughing now.
It got you choking. Like, the joke got you choking.
The secret is you put the cologne on your socks.
Right, let me go get some water.
Because you want your feet to always be smelling good.
Well, I mean, like you wash your hands and like you wear clothes, so like you're always walking, or I don't know. Don't listen to me.
No, you're right though. That's why people put powder in their shoes.
What?
Powder.
Yeah. Why?
It's a certain type of freshness that when they take off their shoes, especially when they go into certain places, or
And that helps with athlete's foot.
Yeah.
Nobody that guy's got like 2 15s in the back of his truck, or maybe 4.
Trust me, I sweat on. You said 4 trucks?
He's got like 4 15s in the back of a fucking SUV.
Oh.
I know he could turn it up louder. That's just loud.
No, he being reasonable for a minute. No, he being reasonable for a minute. I see y'all in park space.
You know, I come out to this parking lot because I saw you out here in this parking lot, and I just wanted to show you.
Yeah.
I be rolling out
what
here.
I got. This is how I get the party started.
You know, it's like, you want an unce over here. What you smoking on? I got a little something. Party in the parking lot. Exile didn't even know he was at the hot spot.
Gotta wait a little while.
Oh. That was loud. Oh.
But yeah.
Oh.
I was about to have somebody come in there and go, "Hey, have you seen the picture? Have you seen it? Oh, there goes the Drake picture." That's like my nephew. My nephew does that too. Takes the picture of Drake. No, the whole picture. It'll make a picture of Kool-Aid or something like that. It'll drink the whole picture of Kool-Aid. Because he knows nobody else drinks the Kool-Aid though. That's what it is.
I know what he up to.
Be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
All right.
Yeah, he's smart too though. You know how normal kids would go and buy like the what you would call it, like a drink from like Hardee's or McDonald's or one of them places.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like $2 or whatever for that drink. He'll instead go to like the store and just buy the whole carton of it.
Walking around with a carton of juice?
No, he'll put it into a cup when he gets to the house, but yeah, he'll get the whole carton of it.
Oh, okay.
That remind me of the this new symbol unlocked in my mind for remember breadcrumb. I was watching Russian Doll, and the guy in there, he's part of her resetting a reality. His reality keep resetting too. Like he keep on dying at a certain point. Like something random keep happening, and then he resets to the certain point. But then he started remembering what was happening. So he kept on trying to keep everything the same, or like be real particular with certain things. Like, oh, I feed my fish. I do this. I know how to do this and that.
Yeah,
and I was like, yo, that's part of that deja vu.
Yeah, this is with that redhead with the curly hair.
Yep.
Oh, paper doll.
Russian Doll.
Russian Doll.
Yeah.
The doll inside the doll inside the doll. That show had a lot of breadcrumbs in there.
Yeah, it's those people who get to that thing where they just don't want to break their daily pattern, because the day that they break the daily pattern, they don't want that to be the day that their loop stops. And then they're on a different pattern than they were.
Yep, because she kept thinking she had to come back to try every single different thing under the sun. Like throughout the episodes, let's do this now. Let's do this now.
Her character is like the one that tries everything. But that was kind of how they set her character up from the get-go. She's like that person who kept trying everything, even though it gets her into messes. She just keeps trying it.
Something about that vibe.
I think that's why they decided to bring him in there in the second season.
Oh, you watched it? Yeah, because he was like trying to be real collective about stuff and just accepting the loop. Like, all right, I know that I'm gonna be disappointed when I knock on his door and I'm gonna hear that my girlfriend is cheating on me and doesn't want to be with me. Yeah, just go through with it the same way, and then I can just go back and something gonna happen again, and it's gonna happen again.
Have you noticed a lot of this are getting into the multi-perspective reality and multi-dimension unfoldment through choices and experience?
So like, much more without being underground with it.
Yeah. A lot of times, before it was like these little underground, but now it's up in the front, mainstream productions.
Or ultra sci-fi dealing with aliens and everything, but like just dealing with the average situation. Oh, so hold on. But yeah, just dealing with the average situation it does. So that what is it? The Wizard of Oz correlation started coming into effect. She went through all of that stuff and then woke up. And it was like, and you was there, and you was there, Uncle, and you was there, Mama. You was this, you was the witch. It's like, yeah. Well, they didn't say yeah, but their spirit probably said yeah. But they was like, oh, what are you talking about? And that's why in the second one that they came out with, she started coming up with that stuff again, and they put her in a psychiatric ward. It didn't make that much. It didn't have that much money in the budget, so it wasn't promoted as much. But then something happened, and her mind started to them collapsing again, but opening up to something, and then she escapes and goes back to the Wizard of Oz world again. So it's cool seeing all of this stuff happen, even with the art of people making these movies. Because we could say, oh, they started this long ago in Hollywood, but this, like, with the same religions and everything, is all the same thing, all the myths. Even the stories that people make up, like your uncle or aunt or something, when they're trying to prove a point. Right? Switch it up a little bit. Like, it works. Like, yeah, I know.
So, like, the Wizard of Oz is kind of like another rendition of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. How much do you like Alex in do you know like Alice in Wonderland? Do you know about it?
I only know a little bit, honestly. Mm-hmm. That was one of the movies that they bought for me. It was some weird stuff. I don't know. That, Sleeping Beauty, yeah, some things like major ones that I missed out a little. But
I saw you talking about the cartoon or the ones with the people? Well, the people, both. The real people.
All of them.
Mm-hmm. I saw the second one in the theaters by myself. It was a real trippy experience because there wasn't other voices going on. I was able to like just see what's happening.
Yeah. I do that sometimes, go by myself to the movies. See. Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland, I brought it up because I really like it. I got like 7 books on like 7 variations of the story. It's even one I've been holding on to that's an actual puzzle book. So each page is a puzzle that you can take out and you have to put it together in order to see the picture.
I had a Beauty and the Beast like that growing up.
What kind of book?
Or a shift around puzzle, so the pieces don't come out. You can have it so it shifts around.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's next level.
they also had the origami ones.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like the pop-up
the
ones.
fold-out books. Yeah.
Those are cool. Those are.
I would say
think-
origami book. Well, yeah, pop-up book.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I was all thinking about a whole origami holding it in my hand as I unfold it.
one
It's
story.
telling a story on each thing, like how they used to do the thing that tell your future. But you gotta like do that. I forget how to. You gotta hold it like
Yeah, but-
this.
Yeah, just like that unfolding thing, like one story that can be told from 7 different perspectives or multiple different perspectives.
Oh, like when I did Aladdin in Asian folklore, because like in my country, British fairy tales. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just said something that went
And I
echoing
think
for a second.
that was
Oh,
Stu
yeah.
camera started buffering. It froze.
I wasn't sure if I froze or she froze, but yeah.
There it goes. It's back.
British fairy tales and like Hans Christensen stuff, like European fairy tales. But then I found Aladdin. That blew my mind when I was younger. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know. And then another thing is that it was Middle Eastern, so I was like a little confused, like how in English, you know, because other stories I had in other forms or culture and language.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed a lot of Middle Eastern and Persian stories were a big part of European culture for a while there. I think it's because they were so entangled into their, for the trades and stuff.
Yeah, they was mystified by their stories and everything. It's like, wow, is this what it could be like? Like, we got this.
Holy, that like okay, like how you have Little Mermaid, right? And there's the happy ending. In the other stories, it's not happy. It's different, you know.
All the way.
I'm sorry.
I said all the way. If you have like murder.
Yeah, like what? Bam.
That's why I think Shrek is the one next to the ones I'll make that's coming out, like Starfall, is the greatest and fairy tale of all time. Because they really
Kingdom
took
Hearts.
every single and Kingdom Hearts. It's the same concept, you will taking all of these different concepts that we familiar with and then flipping it around, but still entangling you with their story. Because he had to save them because they was on his swamp. Like, what are y'all doing on my swamp? To change your story like you don't even know. Isn't that life? Like, why are you living in my house, bro? Get yourself together. But that's the entanglement.
That's the fun of it, right?
Just go and do what you gotta do. Have fun. Go on your journey and be able to take care of them. Because it wasn't even your fault. I was thinking of Lord Farquaad, how he sent them to their place. Because he bought their land off to sell.
Sometimes beautiful mermaids even come into the, swamps. Verbot's talking about the mermaids.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about mermaids earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, Starbucks.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, we were. And then even in my country, in South America, they have like their own myths. You know, like apparently they.
That looked like a myth. What just happened?
My kitten uses me as a bridge.
Gotcha. It's like, I can't jump over you. I'm just gonna
But her little, gonna clip you.
Like, you don't
But
know
yeah.
what I see. I see bridge. I made you say bridge. I am cat.
The skin, okay? And this is back of hand.
What was you talking on?
Oh, the mermaid.
The mermaid, the myths in your country and stuff like that, surrounded by it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was something like, I don't know. I read it elsewhere, but I thought, I don't know what I thought was real. But then, like, I used to see these. I don't think I have any, but like these types of seashells, and the way it was formed, it was long, oval, and I was like, oh, this looks like fingernails. So I was like, oh my god, these are the mermaid's fingernails.
Why wouldn't you think it? That's what you like. I said, why wouldn't you think it? That's what you was into.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just like started thinking, if people lived underwater, like I started trying to be logical about it as a kid, and like I don't know. I guess growing up on the islands too, it's not that far from your imagination, because like you don't wear that much on the island, so I guess,
She shells make sense as bras.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, it all made sense, and I was like, oh my gosh, this might be a thing. I think it's a thing. I think it's real. Do you think it's real?
Yeah, I was just running through me about the imaginations of the captains and stuff and ships, and how they used to be scared of the mermaids. Say, oh, don't listen to the calling or the singing. It's going to bring you to a shipwreck, or something bad is going to happen and stuff like that. And then I was just thinking about how it could actually be them being on course to something, but then them being imaginative and going to this other place, being like, no, but I gotta do this.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then like just trying to keep the so-called ego keep going or something, or survival mechanisms. They're like, oh, I'm gonna die if I like go off to imaginary world, because they was off at sea, we're just looking off at the same thing all the time, so their imagination was able to paint itself.
And I guess metaphorically, it could be, I guess they represent temptation. So it's like you're on a path, you're, supposed to be focused, and then there's temptations. Sirens.
A naked lady in the ocean with seashells is a bra.
So in general, like that's a temptation,
That's why cartoons always took it like, well, how would you interact with it actually? How the intercourse actually happen? Would you want a fish body and human legs, or fish legs, human body?
I don't remember which show, but I think I've seen it. But there's this I don't know, I happened on it by accident. He's a YouTuber, I guess, and he was on a ship. Like, I think he works on the ship fishing or something, and like he recorded this sound, and he was like, "Yo, the sirens are real." I don't know what sound it was.
I was about to ask, what sirens was it from? Did he think? He just heard it.
Yeah, it sounded like the fucking ocean was like, I don't know. It sounded spatial. Like it didn't, I don't know.
Whales make a lot of music too.
Yeah, that too. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Animals do. Is it just mammals though? Birds and mammals?
That same.
No. I can see crocodiles making certain types of noises as well. Mating calls.
The crocodile rock, man. Elton John.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Remember the croc who plays the saxophone too, or trumpet. He plays the trumpet, I think. In
Crocodile was...
Frog Princess.
Huh?
In the Frog Princess. Remember the two frogs?
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's one of my favorite movies because it has that old lady singing that song. You got to dig a little deeper. You got to dig a little deeper.
I only saw it once.
Yeah.
Emotional. Okay.
That's also the movie with the he's got friends on the other side.
Nope, didn't see that.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, he does that thing where he takes the prince. Well, he's like a prince, and he turns him into a frog, and he gives his copy to this guy who is a servant. So he's the guy who's the servant, trying to marry the girl, take her money.
Trying to make it come up real quick.
Yeah.
These movies, like, is this a kids movie?
Yeah, kids movies. That's how all these kids stories are.
It's just if you pay attention or not.
Yeah, if you explain Mulan without explaining it's a kid's thing first, they're gonna think it's just the older story. It's this girl, her family's drawn into war, and instead of her father going, she has to go to war, and she ends up defeating the army. And they're like, what? For kids?
How Disney reimagined it.
Moana, a girl who's trapped on an island with her family, and her grandmother dies, and she realizes that the island's going to die, so she has to go on a journey to save the island.
Instead of just sitting there.
Guy, meets a demigod who's kind of insane.
What can I say except you're welcome? I sing that song a lot. You run it through my head.
It's a song.
Oh, I just ashed in my water.
Oh, well, ashes to ashes. Drink up.
I was just twirling it around trying to get it to the bottom.
Well,
I was like, it's not spread apart yet.
There you go.
It's going to be all right.
Hey, I'm smoking it.
Wait. You the ashes.
It's probably more potent. You just never know. Plants love ash. I learned that.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you put ash in, they say, "Look at my garden after putting ash in it." It was some YouTube clickbait, but it was actually working.
Yeah. You throw their fireplace ash out there, and your roses and stuff like that love it. Flowering plants.
Ooh. That's that carbon, that extra. That's like when I burn my toast. I'm like, nah, I like it. I eat it. It's my extra carcinogens.
I don't know why I thought you said when I burn my toes. And then Carter just had me reminding me of something of the things that be calluses.
A little fire walking, but when them piggies get really toasty, you gotta nibble them down.
Here is that I am Indian, so I'm not sure if you knew. I'm part Indian, so I'm not sure if you knew. I thought you were maybe making a joke, like an Indian joke.
The sink. The sink.
Oh, I don't firewalk anymore.
You gotta do something with the leftovers.
The funny thing is that we call them hot coals.
Yeah, but they have calluses and shit, so they don't.
No, but in the word terminology, it's an oxymoron. It's hot coals. We walk on the hot coals.
Oh, see you.
Fire walking.
Hot, cold. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it now. And then when you see the in between, you can just run over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay in between the hot and the cold.
It's all your perception. See how the truth comes out in the joke.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta say, in this reality, my bad for that podcast yesterday, but I did enjoy it overall myself. But they brought a lot of first timers on there. So
Funny,
personally, in the range of kill Tonys that I saw, like in the my thinking of range, that's like I'm glad I enjoyed it and stuff like that. But they really be killing Tony at times.
They were just kind of whatchamacallit, going along with it. The way that they have it kind of set up is the way that the way I thought the show would be. I've never really watched the show before.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they had it set up is how I thought it would be. Yeah, unfolding.
Yeah, that's why I tuned to it.
Yeah.
And just watch the randomness, and he just go with things. And he did DMT before, and sometimes when people be telling their DMT trips, and you know he a comedian, so he like tell it from the jester perspective. If they get all emotional with it, and they be saying, "Yeah, I was a blade of grass," and then he was like, "Well, what did you think he was a blade of grass?" She's like, "I was everything." He's like, "So now, what did you do with that?" Because like he got this kind of sort of understanding about it. I be seeing. Or not just what did you do with it, but just like how much far did you go and everything with it. And just like giving them a base, like, hey, you're here now, motherfucker. At the same time. But everybody brought up a bunch of cum jokes that episode. That was rare. But that's what it was.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the building up people as well. Like a lot of people start from nothing, or they start off in trailers and stuff like that. Like Hans Kim, his family did have money, but he went into school and then chose to drop out and say, "I'm gonna live in a van and being a comedian." And that's the one I said, like, he had in the last podcast I was watching. He's like, "Yeah, I got my vape DMT pen right here, so I could just like blast off whenever and come back down." I was like, he really just like playing the stage right now in another way.
I think it's awesome. It's more experiences, more stories, you know.
Yeah, from the random chaos of life.
Yeah. That's more popular too. It's so genuine. It's raw, you know? Like, I forgot what it was. Oh, the guy when he was like, your favorite things in a girl. And he named like 3 of like, you know, basic whatever.
That's Hans Kim.
Yeah.
Like the vagina, the ass, the titties.
He's like the belly button. I was like, I guess it's just you, right?
Yeah. It's just like a big F you to reality. Because I see it as a comedian, like, you know, people are watching. Not just on stage, but how are you correlating reality to what you think to be true? And how you want to present yourself, how people presenting themselves around you that you wanted to do, and just like, well, I'ma just say this. I just see it like I'm gonna say that I know that this is what you always think is the primal instinct, so that's what I'm gonna say as the primal instinct. Like, this is what you expected me to say. Like, I'm here right now. Like, this is the ultimate joke. Like, what do you expect me to say? I'm gonna say exactly what you just expected me to say, even though you didn't expect me to say it on this stage, like in this setting.
Yeah, and then that's how you see the like they'll say the things you wish you did, or you know, like sometimes it's like that, and it's like, I thought about that, but I never voiced it, you know. I guess maybe now I'll voice my opinions.
It's all, yeah. It's just all out on the stage. You see that you still survive afterwards. You're still alive. It's not the end of the world.
I will survive.
As long as I know how to love. Like Kevin Hart was saying, laugh at my pain.
Yeah.
That's why I named this Just Tai. Like whatever the fuck just come out is just think about it. It's just thoughts. Just out here displayed for what they how you wanna analyze it. Hopefully you laugh along the way. I would say.
That'll make it worth it.
Yeah, it becomes worth it with the realizations. Cause that's why I see now why a lot of comedians are, even in my own understanding, how people will say things just make sense to you or stuff like that, but how things are unfolded in the fractal reality of my life. Seeing how now, and me understanding, experiencing reality, seeing comedians say that, hey, we need to talk about our art form a lot more because people don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But like we're putting things together, our life, our emotions is all just on the line and things like that, and it's coming with our personal experience on it. Like not just your take on it, but even how your take on it is perceived through me. You said that's what you was gonna say something?
Oh, that also is their expression. Like you see it through their filter, you know? How they coped with it, with whatever, you know, they presented.
Yeah. How they cope with it. Ron White is a famous comedian. And he was a famous drinker. Like he was drinking all day. And it was helping him produce it was helping him produce all his jokes. That's what he was saying, stuff like that. But now he at the point of his life where he stopped drinking, but he still can connect to that vibe and like say, hey, this is how I'm seeing things and the topsy-turviness of it.
That's a good thing when you can evolve within your craft.
Yeah, when you're like, I don't want to die. Or like, I want to keep this up.
But, you know, especially like you still have your self, you know.
Yeah, and it makes sense to the people watching you too. Like the never ending story, like everything just be correlating, like, oh, we've been watching you for so long. Like, how could you just be the same person that we was watching 15 years ago? Of course you're different now. Like in the past, I heard on podcasts, Joe Rogan would say how nowadays the comedian doesn't have to sell themselves to be on a late night show and have like a clean skit with no cursing and stuff that appeals to older people or to sitcoms. Like, oh, I gotta make sure my material's like this so I can eventually sell my material to get on a sitcom and then I can get residual monies and be set for life and everything. It's like, just be yourself.
Yeah. Tell and that's the connecting, that's the bridge between you and your audience. When you are yourself, they can see that and connect with it, you know, relate to it.
And that's the art form. That's anybody's art form, like just trying to relate, even with words. And just walking around just trying to relate.
But I feel comedians like
sometimes
very special, you know. Like no matter what it is they are saying, whether it's whether it's a funny, like, okay, how could I say it? They'll turn anything around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it comes from a place of pain. Like, no, whatever you say, I got something prepared for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later, through me saying that, I see what I'm talking about. Or not. Some people don't, but the ones that like stick around, they eventually do, because then they know how to create more jokes out of that. And that's where we are. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
That's why, like, sometimes, like, when I look at the documentaries or I hear something, like, you know, like some comedians, you know, kill themselves. It's like, how? You know, how? I was like, but you're the funny guy, you know. But
It
this is young,
happens.
like, you know. But
I was listening to this guy something Stefano on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan kept talking to him about his insecurities that he was talking about on the show. He said, yeah, I know I displayed this person like insecurities, but this and that. But then the things he was talking about was still filled with like different anxieties of some kind. So he's like, well, what about this and that? He said, well, I guess that is like some kind of anxiety still that I'm working with.
Certain energies will still be there, even though people believe that they've gotten rid of that energy. They just covered it up with something else, but it's still the same anxiety that many times comes up from underneath.
And hey, and with that, I was trying to keep the show going, but this little wine thing I gotta go walk around for a bit. So I'm gonna take it easy for the rest of the night. I hope y'all do as well.
Yeah. Enjoy your night.
Hey, will do. This was a fascinating. Oh, that light just fell. But this was a fascinating time. I'm glad we got to gather up all this energy and make this art that we gonna be able to we looking at right now. And I'm gonna catch you on the top side.
See you later, man.
Good night.
See
Enjoy the night.
See you well, Stu, Alley Cat, Nobby. Charles was in there. What was True Life Stories was in there. It was awesome. Yeah. Take care. And like that, peace.